What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your host, Sleazebomb. This episode, we're going to be diving into my Week 3 Top 8 Waiver Wire pickups. I'm going to give you 2 at each position. I'm going to give you their Yahoo ownership as well. And man, the quarterbacks are dropping like flies, but we're not going to dive in fully and spend a ton of fab unless you're playing like Superflex or something like that. And if you guys have questions about Superflex and how much fab you should drop on Jake Browning or Carson Wentz, you can drop that in the comments as well. I try to answer every single comment regardless of what the video is. Before we dive into it here, guys, make sure you tap that thumbs up, hit that subscription button. It helps me out a ton. If you guys want to check out the Guys FF Discord, that'll be linked in the comments and in the description. Me and my partner, Big Draft Energy, we cover everything for fantasy football you guys need. And if you want to sign up on Drafters so you can do pickups with us, DFS tickets, best ball, second half drafts, everything like that, make sure you use promo code SLEAZE. It will match your deposit up to $100 or double your initial deposit up to $100. And let's take a look at my top 8 waiver wire pickups heading into week 3. Starting off with number 1, and it's crazy. It is going to be Danny Dimes. We can actually call him Danny Dimes now. It's blowing me away what he's done this season. He is QB2 overall right now through 2 weeks. And he just shattered Denver and got the dub against the Broncos. So, I mean, you got to look at these numbers and you got to think, man, if I need a quarterback, this is a top 3 waiver priority as of now, because 63 passing attempts, 45 passing completions, 588 passing yards, number 2, completion percentage 71.4, number 6, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks. That is what you're looking for from Danny Dimes. He also has 28 rushing yards with 3 rushing TDs, which is what you want for fantasy football. You want to see the deep balls go up, though. He's got 3 deep balls that rank 17th, but QBR 80.8, which is number 6, and he just threw up 316 passing yards versus the Denver defense, which in my opinion is a top 2 defense. And you have to look at how Jonathan Taylor's running this ball. You have to look at how they're using Tyler Warren. I mean, Michael Pittman, Josh Downs, he has weapons galore. Adonai Mitchell, Alex Pierce, the offensive line is playing great. They even held up pretty solid against Denver. So if you have a top, I'd say 3 to 5 waiver priority, I'd use that. And fab, man, the fab, you could probably use 30, 35% here. And Superflex, I mean, he shouldn't be on the waiver wire in Superflex, but if he is, you spend it all. This guy is absolutely balling, and I cannot believe how he is playing this season. It is just wheels up all the way. You get the Tennessee Titans this week, and who says he's not going to score 20 points again? I'm not going to say it. Number 2 for the second QB, it is going to be Tua Tagovailoa, only owned in 21% of Yahoo leagues right now as well, which is crazy to me. He just went up against the New England Patriots, dropped 22.6 points on them, 315 passing yards and 2 TDs. The interceptions do got to come down for him, but you have to look at the Dolphins, and they're not going to be able to run the ball very much this season. It is going to be a pass-heavy attack. They're going at Buffalo on a short week for Thursday Night Football. You know they're going to be playing from behind heavy and pass, garbage time, pass. This is what I talked about with the Browns all season long. He's going to be a solid play this week. Pass attempts 55, which is number 20. Completions 40, which is 15. 429 passing yards, number 18. Completion percentage is number 5. That's why he does. He's always a great completion percentage quarterback. 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Got to bring that number down. You don't really want to see this guy with rush yards, but he has 7 rush yards, 0 rushing TDs because of his, concussion outlook. So you don't want to see him take rushing hits here. Deep balls, number 3, QBR 22.3. That's because week 1 was very, very bad at the Indianapolis Colts. Now, when you have the season that the Dolphins are having, like, it's imploding. You're probably going to see trades for Tyreek Hill. You're going to see whatever happens with Waddle, and who knows, they get Darren Waller back as well. And it's going to be flash pass here, and you're probably going to see Tyreek Hill get peppered because you're going to want to see him be traded and what they can get trade value wise, hoping that the, court case, goes away and teams will actually trade for him. But when you're looking at a matchup here and with the quarterback injuries that have happened, which is bonkers, right? You have Joe Burrow, Brock Purdy, JD5 is down, JJ McCarthy goes down. This is going to be a quarterback you can pick up and play this week that will be a serviceable QB in week 3 here against Buffalo, because it's going to be a high implied point total and they're going to be playing from behind. Number 3, heading over to the running backs, and it's crazy that this guy is still only owned in 52% of Yahoo leagues. It is Trey Benson. James Conner is not the full 3-down workload back that we thought we were going to see this year. You have seen Trey Benson become the passing down back and sprinkle in a couple of attempts here, and his yards per carry are amazing. So 11 attempts, 83 yards, 7.5 per carry. He obviously popped the 50-yarder in week 1, which helped. 0 touchdowns on the ground, 5 receptions, 36 yards. Hasn't found the end zone either through the air. But what you have to look at, week 1, snaps for 33%, still put up 8.5 points. Week 2, plays against Carolina. Obviously, different game script there, which I kind of called during the, in the last videos that he'll get way more touches in this game, and he did. He got 44% of snap share, and he put up 6 targets, 4 receptions, 30 yards through the air. And when you're looking at the matchup versus the 49ers, it's not going to be good on the ground. The 49ers are a very good run D, although, Alvin Kamara had kind of a game last week, but, Mac Jones is out there. I think it's going to be a different game. It's the 49ers' first home game here. It's going to be rocking 2-0. Obviously, I'm a Niner fan, but still, if you need to throw in Trey Benson as like a deep flex play, he's probably going to give you 7 to 10 points every single week at this rate with a touchdown upside that's going to hit eventually. And you got to like that his snap share is going up. And if you're on the waiver wire and you own James Conner, I'd be spending a high waiver priority on this. But fab-wise, probably 15-20% besides that. Number 4 is going to be the rookie Byshell Tootin for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, don't go crazy when you see people's tweets and, it's going to take Etienne's job. No, he's not. He's going to need an injury to get there. But what we have to look at here, 11 attempts, 53 yards, 4.8 yards per carry. 0 touchdowns on the ground yet, 2 receptions, 32 yards, and he scored through the air last week. But what you look at is you look at Travis Etienne, you look at the trade for Tank Bigsby and how he moved out, and how you look at Byshell Tootin in week 1 with 6% snaps, then you see 25% snaps in week 2. Still not a great number. That's why I'm saying don't go crazy, blow your fab. It is still the Etienne show. If you own Travis Etienne, you better be getting Byshell Tootin as your handcuff pickup for sure. They're going to get the Houston Texans this week. It's a very, very tough run D, one of the best in the NFL. So you could see a little receiving work for him, but this is more of a buy long-term here. Maybe Etienne can be traded as well. That's something I've been saying all year long. If Jacksonville falls out of it, they couldn't even beat Jake Browning and the freaking Bengals last week after Joe Burrow went down, which is a bad loss for them. And Houston's 0-2, man. Houston's going to come out in this game, and it's going to be a grinder game with their defense. But, fab percentage, I wouldn't, waiver wire 6 to 8 if I have waiver priority. And fab, 5 to 10%, maybe 15% if you want. If you own Etienne, go more. But this is more of a long-term look-ahead play because he looks great, but it's still going to be the Etienne show for me as long as the Jacksonville Jaguars season is still intact here. Number 5, heading over to the wide receiver side, the guy I've been talking about all season long about how he's a flex play and how you should be drafting him at value because he is a target hog and the Giants aren't going to be able to run the ball. And it's exactly what is happening already this season. Wan'Dale Robinson, 18 targets, 14 receptions, 197 yards, put up 142 in that massive shootout Dallas game with a touchdown, Sunday. That was a wild game. But here's what you have to look at. 24.7% target share, number 22 in the NFL. Snap share, 73% out there. Rush yards, he'll get a couple, but he hasn't had any yet. And then look at this. This is a top 9 wide receiver, 39.7 points. You're going up against KC. What does KC's strength in week 3? Their strength is versus the run. This is going to be another pass game here. Hopefully KC gets Xavier Worthy out there so their offense can move the ball a little better here. But Wan'Dale Robinson, guys, is probably going to be a flexible guy, but it's never a sexy start. And he's still only owned in 23% of Yahoo leagues, which is absolutely bonkers to me. That number should go up to the 50s after this week. Should be a, waiver order wise, I'd say around 3 to 5 range. Fab, 15-20%. If you own Malik Neighbors, even higher because then you have the wide receiver 1 if anything happens to Neighbors. I do like wide receiver handcuffs, and you got to be picking up Wan'Dale Robinson this week. Number 6, wide receiver number 2, there's going to be Troy Franklin out of Denver, and all of a sudden he has just shot up the boards. He does have the Oregon connection with Bo Nix, which you like to see. You didn't really see it in year 1. You're kind of seeing it here in year 2 break early, and then we're going to talk about why here. 15 targets, 9 receptions, 133 yards. He's got a little rush carry. That's what you like to see as well. Receiving TDs 1. Target share 22.7%, number 25. Snap share 64.9%. That's going to go up even more. We're going to talk about that. And that's number 69. And when you look at week 1, he had 59%. And then you look at week 2, and it's a grinder game versus Indianapolis. He had 83% with 9 targets in that game. That is what you want to see. Fantasy points, he's a top 15 wide receiver right now with 32.4. And you're about to get the Chargers in a grind game where the Chargers run D has been very good. I obviously know that, the Denver Broncos offensive line is solid, but it looks like Pat Bryant's not going to be number 2. It looks like Marvin Mims is not going to be number 2. After all of our offseason talk, it looks like the Oregon connection, Troy Franklin, is going to be number 2 in the Broncos situation right now. And waiver wire, I'd say 5 to 7 waiver order because it's still not like set in stone. I'm just saying that through 2 games. It could be different in week 3 because you've seen the snap share fluctuation. But fab wise, I'd go like 10 to 12 to 15% range as well to pick him up if he's available. Because, it looks like Evan Ingram is not even going to be out there and get targets right now, which is driving me nuts because he's been hampered by an injury since week 1. So Troy Franklin is probably a flexible play coming up this week if you need a deep dart throw, and you definitely should be picking him up on the waiver wire. Number 7, heading over to the tight ends. I was completely wrong last week. I thought Juwan Johnson would have a tough matchup versus my 49ers and Fred Warner and how they locked up the tight end in week 1, only allowing 7 yards to Seattle. That did not happen here with Juwan Johnson. Volume is king, and Kellen Moore is going to use his tight end all over the place. It is absolutely crazy that Juwan Johnson is balling this much in fantasy football through 2 weeks. And here's what you have to look at. Targets, 20. Number 1, volume. What did I say about the Saints all year long through my videos? They will be playing from behind. They will be pass heavy all year long, and you're seeing it with him. 13 receptions, 125 yards, 1 receiving touchdown. Target share, 28.2%. Number 9 in the NFL. Snap share, 98.6%. Number 1. And fantasy points overall, 31.5. The number 2 tight end in fantasy football right now is absolutely bonkers. Almost 2 back-to-back 20-point games, averaging 10 targets in each game, averaging over 50 to 60 yards in each game. This is going to be a play that you can use every single week, and you're about to get the Seattle Seahawks, who have been shredded by tight ends back-to-back weeks. But you got to look at week 1 where George Kittle scored on the first drive and then got hurt in the next drive. So they would be even crushed more by the tight end. This is such a good play this week, and I cannot believe that he is only owned in 43% of leagues. This is startable tight end weekly. This is a top 3 waiver priority added 20-plus fab if he is on your waiver wire because volume is king, and he is going to see a ton of it in 2025. Number 8, and we had to go over this last week. This should have been taken care of last week. The numbers are still absolutely crazy that he's owned in 52% of leagues. This should be in the 60-70 range after this week, maybe even higher. It is the rookie Harold Fannin Jr., who's already seen 14 targets through 2 games as a 21-year-old, which is top 5 in the NFL, 12 receptions, 111 yards, hasn't found the end zone yet. Target share 16.9%, number 14. Snaps played, or snap share, share 72.4%, which is number 21. And guys, he's a top 8 tight end. He's number 8 overall with 23.4 points. Yes, they still have David Njoku. Yes, David Njoku is on a contract year as well, and the Browns are already falling apart. So if they look to trade him, you're looking at a monster tight end 1. He has an injury history as well with David Njoku. If he goes down, you're looking at the jack of all trades, Taysom Hill type with way more athletic ability than Harold Fannin. He lines up inline, he lines up outside, he lines up at the running back, he gets wildcat carries, and he already has back-to-back games of 12-plus points. So, this is a tight end that you can play every single week because volume is going to be king. They're about to get the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions, 2 monster games where they're going to be massively from behind. And Joe Flacco is going to be slinging it. Who knows if Joe Flacco keeps this job for that long. But this guy should not be on waiver wires. It is absolutely crazy to me that he is this low. If you got a waiver priority, top 5 add through waiver order. And fab, I'm 20 to 25%. This guy is an amazing pickup, and he's going to be an absolute stud if anything happens to David Njoku. You're looking at league winning tight end upside here. Bang. Thanks for rocking with me today, guys. That is the end of the episode. That is my top 8 waiver wire pickups that you should be targeting in your fantasy football leagues heading into week 3 here. My next videos will be my stardom sit-em for quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. I'm going to try to get those all out, and then tomorrow we will dive into all the rankings, guys. As always, before you head out, make sure you tap that thumbs up, hit that subscription button. It helps me out a ton. I'll be bringing you fantasy football content to help you dominate all year long. Check out the guys' Discord, and of course, if you haven't signed up on drafters.com, make sure you use promo code SLEAZE. That is it for me in this episode, guys. Thanks for listening. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Sleaze Bomb out.